G'day everybody, today we're just going to do a quick test to see how the new Astro 430 stacks up against the Alpha 100 Australian version. Now remembering that this is just a quick test, we'll be using the exact same methods that we used when we tested the Alpha 100. So the collars will be stuck on a fence and we'll be driving away just to see how good a reception and signal the units can keep with the collars. Just to give you a quick idea of the country we will be testing these units in, the collars have been placed over in the gully in that direction, and we're going to be driving down into here. So basically it's just hilly, undulating country and there's not a great deal of obstruction. Righto, let's get straight into the results. The first colour to drop out was on the Alpha 100 and that was at a distance of 2.71 kilometres. But the interesting thing about this is, on the Astro 430 we still have 2 bars of communication with the collar. We're also running a TT15 collar and you can see it's dropped out at the exact same distance as the T5 on the Alpha, but on the Astro 430 we still have 2 bars of communication. But just to throw a spanner in the works, at the exact same distance we still had communication with one T5 collar on the Alpha 100. It had 2 bars of communication, but on the Astro 430 the communication bars were chock-a-block full. Over the years, Tim and I have found that there's always been a variation as to the performance of particular collars with the Garmin systems. So we'll test this one collar out a little bit further and see when it drops out and how it goes. Okay, so continuing on, we've got to 3.76 kilometres before we start to lose communication with the collars on both of the units. You can see here that we've only just got the rusty collar on one, and on this one we've still got all the collars, but they're cutting in and out and the communication is pretty well at a bare minimum. Now both of these units are hooked up to that bull bar mount area you can see there, and we're using a new T-junction so we can run 2 units off the one aerial. Alright, so we've just run out of paddocks to drive through, so now we're heading over to another property and we'll test these collars on the way. I'll just speed this clip up and give you a quick look at the country that we're going to be driving through.
We've got 3.32 kilometres with Roy, first one to drop out, no communications. We go over to the Astro and we still have a bar of communication there. So, 2 bars of communication there. So, we've lost communication with all the dogs at 4.48 kilometres on both handsets. Just an indication we've come down in here into a river crossing. So yeah, just give you an indication of where it's dropped out at. Alright, at 8.9 k's, this is about the range, maximum range we're going to get. We've got all the collars with the Alpha. The Astro. This is hooked up to a telescopic antenna, extends out to 1 metre. We've driven through that river, we've driven along the river, communications dropping in and out all the way. We've made up to a bit of a high point here. If you can see, we're sort of still surrounded by mountains. We're still not at the highest point, there's still higher points up there, and that's the direction we've come from. So that's where the collars are, over there. So that's 8.9 k's away. So that's communication. We've still got all of that full bars of communication. So at that distance, we sort of dropping in and out with the Alpha. Roy, no communication, but see, we've got Rusty again now. Telescopic on the Alpha.
Alright, so that was just a quick test to see how these units perform, and we'll be testing these more in the field when we're out hunting. G'day everybody, Sean here from Under Southern Skies. So we've just picked up those collars. We've just run a really quick test on the new Astro 430, just how it measures up against the Alpha 100 Australian version. And well, I won't go into too much detail about it all. I don't want to bore you all with all the ins and outs, but basically this new system and the Alpha are pretty much so on par, but I am impressed with the way the 430 holds communication with the collars. That is slightly better than the Alpha. So all in all, it's going to come down to personal preference. I know a lot of people like the old systems. You do see 30s and 220s, 320s, stuff like that. I am too. I've still got all mine, but I do love the new T5s. They're a cut above. You do get really good reception and signal off them. That's basically what I'm running now. But the difference with this one, the 430 and the Alpha, one's touchscreen, one's the same setup as your old Astros, so it's going to come down to personal preference which one you'd like. But yeah, in conclusion, they're both pretty similar to each other, and yeah, technology is coming a long way, so if you want to get on board with these, I recommend them. Catch us next time. If you would like some more information, or you have any questions about the new Astro 430 system or any of the previous Garmin systems, you can give Tim Lanfear a call on the number on your screen. And remember, next time you're surfing the net, log on to www.undersouthernskies.com, the one-stop shop for all your dogging needs.